When I think of sequels, I think of the Naruto Storm series. I think of My Hero Academia 1's Justice 1 and 2. I think of the Tenkaichi series. And after the research I've done, I feel like Bleach Rebirth of Souls will be going in the same direction. And today, I'm going to explain why. But before I do, 87% of you guys that do watch my videos are not subscribed. If you guys want to see more Bleach Rebirth of Souls content, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment if you're new. But let's get right into it. Now, like I said once before, when I think of sequels, I think of the Storm series, the My Hero series. You guys, Xenoverse 1 and 2. What do all those games have in common? Each game has more playable characters. Now, I'm going to make an educated guess here. My hypothesis today is Bleach Rebirth of Souls will get a sequel. That's if the game is received well, it does well, and everybody supports it. I want to explain to you guys why I think this. And here's why. I went back and I read over the IGN interview that they did with the Tamsoft producer, and I got to the end and I kept reading the end part over and over and over and over. So I'm going to read it to you guys and you tell me in the comment section how you feel about what he said. He didn't say it not once, but he said it twice. It was said twice. It says, although Bleach has one of the largest cast of characters in shonen anime with more personalities and power sets being introduced in the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc, the anime sequel series, which adapts the manga's final arc, Rebirth of Souls will only feature characters from the anime's first two story arcs, Soul Reaper and Arrancar. We're going to continue. This is the first Bleach game that Bandai as a company is introducing, and it's been a while since the last game was introduced. So we thought that it would be great to introduce these characters from the original arc to the Arrancar time period and introduce the history of these characters, how they met, and how battles have taken place. Straight from the producer himself. Now, I know some of you guys will say, well, they can kind of add the Fullbringer DLC into the game. Yes, that is a possibility, but, and I'm putting emphasis on that, but pause. Let's talk about game rosters, right? Let's think a little logical here. So I have a list of games that had sequels, anime games to be exact, that had sequels, and you can see the significant jump in rosters. Now, you guys know that I've been preaching about this game having at least, and I feel like it'll be the maximum, 25 characters at launch, because we still have the Arrancar, we have the Espada, we have all these characters. You got to take in consideration how many characters from the Shinigami arc all the way to the Arrancar. So we got to take that in consideration. But here's a list of games that had multiple entries in their series. Let's start with Bleach Heat of the Soul, which started with 6 characters. Then when part 2 comes out, it jumped to 12. And then I'm just going to skip to 7 and it ended with 63. We go to My Hero's One's Justice. The first game started with 22. Pretty reasonable. That's really a reasonable size roster. I think 22, 25 is a given for this game. But then My Hero One's Justice 2 jumps to 40 characters, 51 with DLC. That is a big jump. And mind you, My Hero only had 2 games besides Ultra Rumble. We're talking arena fighters here, so only 2 games. So it went from 22 to 51 after DLC. We go to Naruto Storm 1, which had 25 playable characters, and then they had 10 support only characters as free DLC. And then we jump to Connections that has 130 playable characters, and if I'm not mistaken, that's 6 games later. All right, let's do some research here. Seeing that this game starts at the beginning, the very beginning, when Ichigo first became a substitute Soul Reaper, all the way to final Getsuga Ichigo versus Aizen, the final fight. Let's start there. Let's talk about the amount of characters from that point to this point. So after compiling my research, I did a little bit of math. If we include every single Arrancar that ever existed in the Arrancar arc, that is 45 different characters just by Arrancar. Then if we include the Soul Society arc, or just all the captains, even Aizen as a captain in that, so because you know there might be multiple versions of Aizen. You have the Gote 13. Then you have the other 21 characters that aren't captains. So that comes out to 34 characters from Soul Society. And then that's not even including the Visor, which are 8 more characters. So what is 45 plus 34? That is 79 plus 8. That is... Am I stupid? I think that's 87 characters, buddy. Again, 45 plus 34, that's 79 plus 8 is 87 characters. 87 characters. If you want to include the Arrancar that Ikaku and the others fought, I mean, if we look at other games, other arena fighters, they had like the little side characters that nobody wanted, but some of the side characters ended up being pretty cool, pretty good, play good, you know, stuff like that. I mean, even look at the Dragon Ball games. They have the Cyberman as a playable character. Jocko. No offense to anybody from that community. No offense. But back to my point, it's that I feel like this game in particular is meant to cover just those 2 arcs. It's too many characters that you can go with in those 2 arcs. So back to my point. My point is that I feel like this game is meant to cover just those arcs, those 2 arcs. Shinigami, Soul Society, and Arrancar. I feel like this game is only meant to cover those 2. As you can see by the math I did, there's a fuck ton of characters that they can choose from. A fuck ton. And this is not even including movie characters. We're not even talking about movie characters here. We're not even getting to that part yet. So I'm here to kind of level expectations, but I'm also here to say, guys, if you do support this game, there's a possibility that this game can get a sequel, and then we can see the full bringers, and we can see maybe even characters from Can't Fear Your Own World, or even characters, this is a stretch, from the Hell arc. But of course, the next game you will see the 1,000 Year Blower arc characters. You're not going to see all of them right at one time, but you will see them. I feel like this game, like many others, is meant to cover a specific part of the story, and this game is meant to be an introduction to people who haven't seen Bleach, who don't want to sit through the anime. You see what I'm saying here? I'm gonna use Storm as an example. Storm 1 covered all the way up to the Sasuke retrieval arc, then Storm 2 started from the time skip arc all the way to the Pain arc. Storm 3 covered the 4th Great Ninja War, and Storm 4 covered the second part of the 4th Great Ninja War and beyond, which Boruto, it went on into that. There will be plenty of characters to experiment with from the Shinigami to the Arrancar arc, with the possibility of variants as well, of certain characters, of course. Every character may not get a variant. In terms of direction, like I said, guys, I think this game is going to follow through the list of games that I named at the beginning, which are like the Storm series, the Xenoverses, the My Heroes, the Tenkaichis. I feel like it's going to follow suit to that, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if we, kind of communicate with the devs on a nice level, let's not kind of, harass them, because, gamers do that. Gamers do that. They harass developers and everything like that. We try to get feedback on what they need to fix in this game and support this game. It won't be another what if. I can't count how many times we had at least good to unique, decent anime games like this, and they become what ifs. They literally do. Now, like I said once before, 87 characters in total from what I did for my math. This game has a possibility of being very DLC heavy. How many characters per DLC? I don't know. There can also possibly be seasons, maybe just expansions. It could be expansions, it could be DLC expansions, and we get a full bringer. But there's, like I said, from the base arcs that they're trying to cover, I feel like there's way too many characters that they can experiment from that we could play with. A lot of the people that I see that ask for certain characters are literally asking for characters mainly from these 2 arcs anyway. So I think this being the first installment, this being the first game Bandai has published that is Bleach related, the first Bleach game that Tamsoft has ever published, that this be the first game. Let's not expect 40-50 characters, because then your hopes and dreams are going to get flushed right down the damn toilet, like they always do when everybody gets their hopes up. And this is me being completely honest. A lot of people don't want to be honest with you, but I am being completely honest. But in my honest opinion, my hypothesis is that this game will get a sequel if supported, and if this game is received well by all of us. This game is unique. I've done my research. I've watched videos. I've read interviews. This game is very unique. Now, like I said before in my first video, this game seems basic, but it's not. And it's seeming pretty unique with the Kanpaku system and the reverse your fate. I haven't seen an anime game do this before. And they're trying to, and it seems like every character trailer that I see, the characters are not like outlandish. Like they literally are trying to balance the hell out of this game. And that's what they said they were going to do. So I'm going to stop my yapping. This game has a high chance of getting a sequel. That is going to be, I'm rolling with that. We're going to see what they do when the game comes out. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. You think this game is going to get a sequel? Do you think this game is going to drop the full bringer and 1,000 Year Blower arcs as like DLC expansions? Me personally, business wise, I wouldn't do it. That's just me. Business wise, I wouldn't do it, because first of all, first Bleach game in what? Let's think about this, guys. First Bleach game in how many years? Over a decade, right? And they only been working on this game for what, 3 to 4 years? So I don't expect over 25 characters. I don't even think that's going to be possible for them to do. But I'm not always right. But there's a high percentage that I am this time. So we'll see. I feel like if this game is received well, it will get a sequel, and it would pretty much turn into, I won't say Storm, because I think this game is going to cover a lot in the first game, and then the second game will be the conclusion of this series. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section section down below. Sequel, no sequel, Fullbringer, Azure Blower Arc expansion? Who knows? Maybe. We'll see. But I appreciate you guys for sitting through this Yap Fest. I am done yapping for today because this is going to be a heavily edited video, so forgive me for my yapping. Like I always say, guys, this is your boy Asafumas, and I'll see you on the next one.